Hello and welcome to Change is Good. My name is Brian. In this video, we'll be hunting a $500 box of half dollars. We're going to be looking for silver, proofs, NIFCs, varieties, foreign coins, you name it. Let's see what we got on top. Moment of truth. Nothing silvery that I can see. All right. I'll be back when I have a find. We're on the fifth roll. We have a variety. Let's go to the scope. Under the scope is a 1971 Denver. The letter I over here in the word N is just a little bit wider than normal. You can see a little split here on the left side. The lettering is just a little bit thicker, but it's just very, very hard to tell because it's very close to normal. Over here on the word trust, you can see some extra thickness here at the bottom of the R. You can even see some splitting here on both legs, some splitting here at the top of the U. It's got a ring of death on it, so some of the letters are damaged, unfortunately. The T up here in Liberty is extra wide with widened serifs on both sides, but then they're damaged, so it's hard to see the splits. And over here in the E in Liberty, you can see a split right there. This is DDO number 7 on Variety Vista. Let's get back to the hunt. We're on roll number 10. We have another variety. To the scope we go. Here's the reverse of a regular 1972 Denver. Look at the thickness of the letters on this example. Now I'm going to show you a double dyed version. See the difference? And the bottom serifs of the S's aren't quite as sharp as the other example was. There are also notches in the bottom right corners of all the lettering on the example, from the word States all the way through the word America, on every bottom of each right corner in each letter, even all 3 corners of the letter E going up. This is DDR number 2 on Variety Vista. Let's get back to the box. Now we're on roll number 11, and we have another variety. To the scope we go. For those of you avid corn roll hunters out there, you might know what this variety is just by looking at it. This is a 1974 Denver. Notice how thick and puffy the lettering is here in the words "in God." You can see splitting here on the left side of the 1 going all the way down. Same here on the 9 on the outside curl, and here on the left side of the inside curl. Over here in the words "we trust," you can see heavy doubling all the way across, especially here in the T, with notching in the right corners of the letters. Same here on the R, with splitting going up the right leg. A notch here in the upper left, notching at the top of the U, with splitting going all the way down it through the curl. A doubled S, split all the way up and down. And a double T. Also, there's a little notch here in the back of the 4. This is the FS 101 in the Cherry Picker's Guide, or DDO number 1 of Variety Vista. A very common and very well-known variety. Let's get back to the hunt. We're on roll number 23, and we have another variety. Let's go to the scope. Here's a 1971 Philadelphia. This is in a late dye stage, so everything looks rather normal on this side of the coin. If you go over here to the word trust, you can see some distortions. The bottom of the R is a bit wider than normal. The top of the U is sloped upward toward the right, and the left side is a bit wider than it's supposed to be. The S is also wider than normal, especially here at the bottom. The right side of the T is much wider than it's supposed to be, and there's a small notch here on the far right. Up here in the T in Liberty, you can see it's extra wide, quite a bit wider than normal. And there's a little notch here on the top of this bar in the E in Liberty rather than the bottom. This is DDO number 1 on Variety Vista in the late dye stage. Let's get back to the hunt. We're on roll number 28, and we have another variety. Let's go to the scope. Here we have a 1971 Denver. Notice how thick the lettering is in the words "in God." You can see a defined split here on the upper right of the I, a stepping effect on the left serif over here on the top. The bottom is convex versus being straight. The 1 and the 9 and the date are extra wide. Over here in the words "we trust," you can see defined splits all over the place. A little notch here on the right side of the T, bottom of the R on both legs, top of the U. S is extra wide. T is also extra wide. Then T in Liberty is also wide with split serifs on both sides that are really obvious. You can see a nice split here on the E on Liberty. This is DDO number 15 on Variety Vista. Even though it's in pretty rough shape, it's actually one of the most impressive spreads on all the varieties on this date. Let's get back to it. We're on roll number 39, and this time I have something different to show you under the scope. Let's head that way. Here we have a 1971 Denver. Here above the Y, you can see a die crack running from rim to rim. This is known as a pre-cud. Had this crack broken out of the die, it would have created a raised area of metal here on the coin, known as a cud. These are very common on this date. The cool thing about this example is that it has 2 of them. Let's get back to the hunt. Well, the last 11 rolls were not very nice. Because we mainly found varieties in this hunt, I'll do a recap under the scope. We had 6 finds in total, 5 of which were varieties. This is a 1971 Philadelphia DDO number 1. Up next is a 1971 Denver DDO number 7. Here we have a 1971 Denver DDO number 15. Here we have a 1971 Denver with a double pre-cud in the lettering of Liberty. Up next is a 1972 Denver DDR number 2. And lastly, a 1974 Denver FS101 or DDO number 1 on Variety Vista. Thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed this content, hit that thumbs up and subscribe. It'll cost you absolutely nothing, and it may help me sleep better at night. And if you have any questions or feedback, feel free to leave me a comment in the comment section below, and I'll get back with you as soon as I can. Thank you all again so much, and remember, every coin has a story to tell. Let's listen. See y'all next time.